How's it going, everybody? My name is Swoopy and welcome back to my channel. Just before we get into the video, a few people are talking about the rework to Viper or the coming changes that might be happening to Viper, and they were asking about what I would want to happen to Viper. Honestly, I think Viper is one of the most balanced controllers in the game at the moment. If you look at last patch, we saw Omen, who was the most picked, who was pretty much the most OP controller could be picked into in every single map, and you wouldn't have any issues. You had Brim, who was pretty much just pointless, absolutely useless, and then you had Viper, who was balanced, but pretty hard to play. So changes coming in for Viper, I honestly think that she's in a really good spot at the moment, and there aren't any changes that necessarily need to happen, except for maybe making her a bit more noob-friendly, because I do feel like she is a fairly hard character to play, especially in comparison to a lot of the other agents within the game. So what could you change? I mean, one thing, the damage of a snakebite really isn't punishing. So the fact that it applies a vulnerability is really good. But the fact that it literally does no damage, you can run through it and take about 30-35 damage, and that's about it, is a bit underwhelming. So it really does need to be paired up with a gun. So maybe up that just ever so slightly means lineups do more damage. It means like your Molotov is actually a bit more scary, and overall just makes it much better. Other than that, I just think like maybe the travel time of her of her wall, travel time of her Q, travel time of her lineups could be a little bit better. But other than that, I genuinely think the Viper is the most balanced agent in the game. A character that is very hard to play, so can be really punishing for newer players. But then a character that once you really get the ropes with her and push her to her full potential is a character that can become from being C tier to S tier really fast. Either way, guys, hopefully I can teach you a little something about Viper in the rest of the video and help you guys learn how to play her. This is a Viper Mindset series where we go over some clips and we go into a bit more depth and I talk over them and try and explain the Viper mindset, how I play the way I play with Viper. But yeah, guys, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Alrighty then, guys, so kicking off, we're going to be starting with Viper on Haven. This is one of the maps where I genuinely dislike to play Viper most of the time. Like, unless I'm really feeling Viper, it's a very hard map to play, and it's one which I don't like. With literally hundreds of hours that I played on Viper, I still don't feel comfortable on this map, even with the likes of Icebox, which I now feel comfortable on, even though it came into the scene much later. So this is a map I think is very hard to play because there are so many ways you can play it, and I don't know, it's really hard map. So anyway, let's talk about what I do here. It's a very aggressive Viper round, and I kind of just had enough. We're 6-3 up. We've just won 2 rounds in a row, and I want to be aggressive. Their economy is kind of broken. There are some people who have really dodgy buys, and then some people who have like 7k, 8k. So how do we want to push this? A lot of the time, you see the wall we have up here. This wall literally means that you can cross into short straight away without anyone noticing. So it's quite good just to be a little bit sneaky. But the main thing about the wall is this bit here. If you have this paired up with a smoke in heaven, you can pretty much get onto site for absolute free. Like, you can get all the way, like, you have all of this control of A site, and then you can drop your wall. You have about 3 people on A site, and you've just taken over the entirety of A straight away. So either way, that's kind of like the ideology behind the wall. And if we get into it, you'll see how aggressive we can be off this. So we have a Brim on my team, which means I don't necessarily have to smoke heaven. So it's not something I do every round. We're going to straight away just swing through our wall, and we kill the AWPer. Or one of their AWPers. I think there was another one later on. We instantly break the wall. Jet dashes in, good dash, and he chokes his shots, but we managed to trade him. So it comes into heaven a little bit late, but it's just in time. So of course we molly off the push, or from CT, and now we molly up in heaven. So this molly up in heaven is pretty good. It just pretty much clears this right side. There's not much to it, but one thing I do want to note is I throw my Molotov. Okay, and then I'm instantly pre-firing this wall even while it's still bouncing around. This is because if someone is here, they'll see the Molotov bounce here, then it goes on the floor, and by that point, there's a smoke, they've already run out. So me shooting through the wall can actually tag them, slowing them down, which means they actually are forced to stay in my Molotov, which will then in turn do more damage, and if the Molotov then hits them, and then I hit them again through the wall, I'm doing double damage. So I want to make sure I'm spraying through the wall before my Molotov even hits the floor. either way, the Heaven Smoke's still up, so we're just gonna leave sight. We hear the Jet jump up, we're just gonna mainly focus on dodging her knives. We put up a wall to bait her going across, drop it as soon as we can. As you can see, she did go across, and we pick up the kill. So now we want to go back towards the play post spawn. Somehow our 2 players on site just get absolutely demolished. Not much we can really do about that. So we push out, and then I reconsider what I'm doing. So I go back. I need to get that kill on that Reyna. The fact that she manages to hit the shot just saves the round. And then our Cypher is a brain dead monkey and just sits behind this box for the rest of the round and doesn't do anything to even try and stop the plant. So I pretty much get onto site. I get these 2 fat entry kills. I then cover behind. I kill the guy behind. And meanwhile, I'm doing all of this. My team can't hold sight and die. So let's have a look at what happened to my team. So if we go back and look at the map, I've just picked up this kill onto the Jet, as you can see. So if we look at the map, this Reyna is about to jump out of heaven and somehow manages to kill our Reyna. The Reyna then E's and goes around to CT, which baits our Brim out of position, so he then dies. And then we get put into this position here, where, you know, I could kill Bomb Planter, but if I kill the Reyna first, that means we've 100% won the round. I can swing Bomb Planter and we've won. So, either way, it goes bad, and then my Cypher just literally does nothing the entire round. So, this is literally me carrying my team, trying as hard as I can, do literally everything for the round, and we still lose. This is why I love and hate Valorant, right? I could be the best player in the world, and if my team still isn't doing stuff, the game is still probably going to be lost. You know, it's a team-orientated game. I could literally be getting 4Ks every round. That one last guy could kill me and then like kill the rest of my team because they're all absolute potatoes. So it's something to keep in mind when playing Viper or when playing Valorant. You know, you don't want to get yourself down because of your teammates. It's part of the game. You know, just stay positive. But yeah, there's not really much I could have done in this game. If I or in this round even. If I killed this Reyna, I won the round, and I aced. If I didn't kill the Reyna, we lost. Well, actually, no, we shouldn't have lost. Our Cypher, if he just swung through the smoke, won the round. But, yeah, this is kind of the only moment, or only bad thing that happened in the round, me not killing that Reyna. And it was a nice shot by her, to be fair. Okay, the next clip is on Ascent. This is my A-hold. Fairly basic. There's not much to it, just got a one-way setup. And this wall. Let me quickly talk about this wall. So whenever I have my ultimate, I like to set up for if the enemy team push into me, I'm ready to use my ultimate, and I have a setup which means I can use my ultimate more effectively. So this wall effectively means I can be way more sneaky with my ult up. So I ult the entirety of site, and this wall means I can either, you know, peek through it, I can hide in a corner, I have a bit more room, a bit more space to hide behind, and if the enemy team wants to push through that wall, it's a bit more risk. You know, they don't know what's on the other side. I could just be sitting here, like behind this box right here, and be pre-aiming it, and then they're instantly dead. So that's the idea of the wall. I have a bunch of different walls which I use when I'm going into my ultimate kind of setups. But yeah, all we do instantly raise up the one way. We're holding it here, the Yoriol, and there we go. I heard the orb somewhere on site. But either way, we know that they're pushing A really hard. Whenever a team is pushing into you on defense, always use your ult. It's just, there's no reason to not use your ult. Either forces a rotation from your other team, or if they push into it, you're most likely going to get a few kills and just absolutely dominate, right? So right now, I'm being really careful for this Yoro. I've just heard him TP. So I know that he's somewhere nearby, or come out of his ult, one or the other. I don't know, it sounds useless yet, but I know he's on site somewhere. There you go, right as I call it. So I'm being careful, and what I'm doing here is, I'm going to go back real fast, is I'm letting him decay. I know he's on site. I know I don't have to push into it. I can just let him decay. You know, I know he's there. I'm aware. We all aware. I called it to my team, and now I can push. You know, I could have shot him in the leg. He probably was 1 HP. I probably would have killed him. And because of my ult, the enemy team is now rotated out, and I also dropped my ult here because all it's doing is blocking line of sight for my team. The enemy team have to push through this choke, right? So the enemy team want to come through here. If the enemy team wants to come through here, the angles they have to check with my ult up is literally just this right corner a little bit, and here, and Gen. Like, you literally have 3 angles, pretty much only 2 angles you actually have to check. So me dropping my ult immediately, oh, give me a second. immediately creates way more angles they have to check for when they come through the single choke point, right? They then have the entirety of sight. They still have short. There's a lot more for the enemy team to worry about. My job for my ultimate is done. I've got the kill on sight. We killed the Raze that was trying to push into it to clear me out my ult. So the job is done for that ult. I don't need it up anymore. It means that if I get any more kills, I'm already getting my charges for the next ult. So I can then put that to use and use that really, really effectively, right? So as it goes on, the enemy team rotate then to top mid and get a pick, and then they come back to A. So we have our Jet, who's hidden away in Wine, then gets taken down, and now we're holding. So they're going to Cypher ult, and I'm going to walk over towards this side to make them think that I was running maybe towards Heaven. But I then go back to this little corner here, this little off angle, wait for them to push onto site, get the first pick. Then he shuts the door, I know where he is, just hold the angle, and there you go. Nice round. Really, really clean round, nice hold of A. There's not really too much the enemy team could have done. They played it kind of well, maybe they should have pushed in with a Raze a little bit better, but that is about it. So yeah, just a really clean, really nice round from Viper, and now we're getting onto a lurking round on Split. I honestly, before, I think Bind was my favorite map to play Viper on. I don't know, I'm really enjoying Split recently. I've been getting absolutely phenomenal games where I've been like clapping cheeks left, right, and center. And it's just been a good time, it really has. So, what am I doing in this game? So straight away, we have this setup. This just looks like your default, or not default A push, but you have your wall. Oh lord, oh lord, oh lord. So you have your wall going across here. So you have your wall going across here, which is like your default push. You know, this is just you baiting, and also means that, you know, the people in ramp don't immediately have line of sight unless they expose themselves and push out of here, which is not a very good idea. And also you have Heaven smoked, which is always handy. So what we're doing immediately is we have ramp smoked, and we have this smoked here. I don't know what you call that, entrance into site, right? So now that these two are smoked, this means that this is now my map control. I can now dominate this. So this is now mine. It's like I've claimed that. That's what I've done as my lurk. I've gotten that map control for my team, and that's straight away what I want to do. I want to instantly gain that map control. I want to get into a position where if the enemy team then want to get aggressive and push, I can immediately punish them. So either way, we raise up the smokes, and I get flashed. I hear a TP, and I know what he's planning to do. He's either TP'd behind me, or he's right there. So we get a free kill onto that guy. And now we're going to drop the smoke, make sure no one else is pushing, clear it a little bit, and now we want to drop the wall. Timing of this is pretty good. We catch her using her bot, and while she's actually placing it, we just run at her. You know, there's no reason to not just run at her here. The bot takes time to run at me. I may as well just get that kill. And now we're just going to straight away carry on pushing through, just running through the enemy team. You know, no big deal. And there you go. I've literally just pushed the entirety through A. Without any consequences. I've been shot once throughout that entire thing, and then the rest of the round is literally me just trying to chase kills, and it doesn't really work out. I get a bit greedy. I'm literally just monkeying. The round was already won. I didn't really care. I'm just running around with my knife. Yeah, whatever. You know, it happens. I didn't really care. All I'm doing is giving her a Spectre. She then saved the Spectre, which I think was kind of bad. If she died, she would have had more money the next round, to the point she could have bought a Vandal. So, you know, at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. I get another ult charge for dying. Who really cares? No, not me. I don't give a monkey. So, Icebox. This is something I'm going to call the perfect 1v1. The way Viper can control her fights is absolutely phenomenal, and something which no other controller can do. You know, it's the reason why I think Viper is way more interesting of a character than someone like Brimstone, right? Is I can put myself in a position and literally dominate my opponent to the point they have no clue where I am, and they have no clue what's going on. So I have info that the Jet has just killed my teammate in mid, right? So she is now coming from either kitchen, snowman, or mid, like across down here. Ooh, let's get these arrows. There we go. So what we're going to do is, of course, just straight away get this bomb down and plant as quickly as possible. But we're going to place down the smoke just to help us a little bit more. So we plant. I have no reason to put out these smokes. I know the Jet isn't anywhere that's going to threaten me, so I have no reason to put out my smokes right now. So now I put up my. Now I've planted the bomb. I've given away my position to this Jet. Now I raise up my smokes. This means that there's like instant time. She has no clue where I've gone from the point I planted bomb. So she knows I'm somewhere on B, but now my smokes are up. I could now be anywhere. I could have went towards Snowman. I could be on site still. I could have went to Long. I could literally be anywhere, and she has to clear everything. And this is where my smokes really come in handy. So I'm going to sit inside this box for a bit, and do you see how the smoke goes into the tube, right? There's a little bit that goes into tube. I can hide in this. So it means as the jet is now pushed like on towards site, I can now hide in the smoke, and she hasn't seen me. To the point that she now thinks that I'm long and looking at Long. She's cleared the entirety of site. So at this point, let's talk about what the jet was doing. So I've planted bomb, right? I've planted bomb, and my guess right here is that the jet is going to be pushing down this way. I'm pretty certain that she started pushing down here. So if we get the mighty pen out, so she's pushing through here. So what I've done instantly, as I've saved up my toxins for after I planted the bomb, I put this up, and I've gone into like around my smoke is hidden. So she's now cleared this side of the inside of sight as she's pushed up here. Now she's on my right somewhere, and I'm holding this position, you know, just clearing. And most of all, meaning that if she goes around here and checks the inside, she hasn't seen me, right? So now I think she's cleared somewhere around yellow and heading back towards bomb, right? So we drop everything, we're just hiding, chilling. As soon as she pings bomb, we're out and she's dead. I mean, there's nothing that Jet could have done. I literally gave her no info to play off of. The only thing she really could have done is ran along to make sure it was clear. But even at that point, she has to really check every angle. I could be hiding behind one of the boxes. I could also be going for lineups. There's so much that I could be doing in that situation that Jet literally has no chance in that round. Absolutely outplayed. So yeah, you just got to use your smokes. You know, you've got to play around information. You know, this isn't a character where you're doing damage by just, you know, throwing nades at people or throwing molotovs at people. It's not that kind of character. You have to use your information. Information is how you do damage to the enemy team with Viper. So you have to either give the enemy no info of you or info of the enemy in a certain way to then use that against them. So either way, on to the next clip. So this clip is, the main thing I want to highlight is about poisons, but you know, it still kind of highlights how to play Viper in a good way. So either way, the first thing I'm doing is I see my Jet is 1 HP and just taking a fight against this Killjoy. If you're the Killjoy in that situation, what are you going to do if you know the Jet is like 1 HP? You're going to monkey out and run at her. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say, not today, buddy, and I'm going to take her out and use my Jet as bait to get this free kill onto the Killjoy. The Viper then tries to molly my Jet to kill her as well, so still tunnel visioning onto my Jet, and also gets a few shots on me. And here, we're counting bullets, okay? The Sheriff has 6 shots. I've heard him fire all of them except 1. That's the last bullet. Now he's reloading. You're dead. All I'm doing is I'm baiting for a lot of it. So, you know, the first shots he fires, what, he hits me like twice, maybe once, another 2 shots. He has 1 more bullet. And then we just want to immediately pressure him. We want to go, bang! And, you know, sit on his face a little bit, make him regret his decision, make him never want to buy a Sheriff ever again in his life. And we have 3 bullets. You know, we're bad. We're not reloading. You know, we want to absolutely BM this enemy team. So we're holding onto these 3 bullets, not going to reload. I mean, what I should have done in this position is probably reloaded. There's no reason not to. But now, what happened is we know that the Sova is now pushing on towards B very soon. There we go. So planting. So what we're going to do is immediately poison. This poison is going to go straight onto where he's planting, which is behind default. And now I see that he hasn't walked towards backside, which means the only other position he could be is because he's obviously not going to stay inside this Molotov. Is he's now relocated back behind pillar. So now what we're going to do is we're going to molly pillar. And now he's got nowhere to go. We pull out the Sheriff that does more damage in 1 shot. So that's a 100 damage bullet right there going straight into his chest. And as well as with that, on top of the molly damage, it's a free kill. You know, there is nothing this guy can do. And it's about using your poisons in this way. I mean, this guy literally had nothing better he could do with his positioning, you know? He's planted in the bomb in a safe spot. Well played to him. I punished that immediately by molotoving him. So that means the only position he can go to, I mean, he can still swing out here, but it's a very dangerous place. So he goes behind pillar. I then push him out of pillar with my molotov, and then position so I can punish him for them. Really, really nice play, and just dominating your opponents with Viper. And now we're back on Haven. So what we're doing is, we're on eco, so I'm going to give them that kind of mindset of that's the play that I'm going to do, guys. So I'm going to throw the smoke, like I did before. There you go. And it's just a fake. It's a distraction to the enemy team. And then we're going to throw this wall and start pushing towards B side. We can use it as cover. And now this smoke is really, really good for us. What this smoke allows us to do is go inside and outside of this wall without them knowing. And now he turns his back, we're just going to run at him. We hit one to our right, so we kill him as well, get a gun. And now look at this position we've taken. We just cleared out B. We've killed the guy on B, killed the rotation from A to C. And we're in a position where, we're in the middle of the map. We have a lot of map control for our team. It's a very, very good position to take. And this is why I love, even if you're just like solo pushing B, taking B is so good. Because it means if someone wants to get from A to C, they're having to expose themselves or go through their spawn. So either way, what we do now is, of course, we've got this. Both our team are now dead. So we're just going to hold and wait for the enemy to make a mistake. I'm not going to push them. Wait for the enemy to make a mistake. There's the Jet getting too greedy. And now we're going to relocate. So I've given away information that I was on backside B. The most likely place for me to go from backside B is either in CT or garage. Right? So my main goal, of course, is to get bomb. So I need to go into garage either way. But I want to approach it from an angle they at least wouldn't expect. So we're coming from, I guess, our side, the T side of garage. And we're clearing it slowly, making sure that everything's clear. And we peek. And now I see that's clear. It means I'm not going to immediately get pushed. I peek ever so slightly just before using my ult. You'll see. And it's just to make sure, there isn't someone around this corner who's going to immediately rush me as soon as I use my ult. That time frame where I'm using my ult, you're vulnerable. You got to be careful of that. And now what I'm expecting is the Reyna to flank round this way. So I'm holding this position for a little bit just to see. And either way, if the enemy is holding the bomb, that I'm just giving them time to decay. You don't want to play super aggressive off your ult all the time. Sometimes it is good, but sadly, the enemy team are holding bomb in such a stupid way, man. Alright. Guys, I want your opinions. Is this a good play or a bad play that the enemy did, right? I'm pushing up into this position here, and both of these guys are 1 HP because they've just been sitting in my ult, right? So I'm here, I see these two players, they're both guarding bomb. From their position, they have to hit a headshot, one headshot, to win the round, and that's what they have to rely on to win this game, or to win this round. For me, I could literally I could have thrown a snake bite to kill them, I could have just sprayed randomly through smoke, and they would both be dead, because they're both 1 HP from decay. So yeah, get the first shot, but luckily the breach does get a headshot on me, and does kill me. I don't know whether to be mad, or say well played to these guys. Like, I think that was a good idea by these guys. I think it was a good communication. They both sat on bomb, and yeah, I got one, but it won them the rounds. But yeah, a really good clip. I mean, to think about it anyway, this was an eco round for my team. So the fact that I've even managed to get 4 kills out of this scenario and almost win the round is absolutely phenomenal in itself anyway. So, you can't really be mad. Okay, guys, and there's one more clip I want to go over really fast. This is one that was on my YouTube on how you should be playing Viper Swoopy Valorant. So, this is a clip which I think is very, very, very well played, honestly. It's just played well. I mean, let's talk over it. So straight away, we have our wall set up, we have our smoke. We sit here, there's an AWPer, we're gonna immediately put our smokes up so we can then push onto the site and, get the bomb down. So I start planting here, and then immediately think, if I'm planting behind this box, from the Killjoy ult, well, actually, let's go draw the Killjoy ult real fast. Alright, so this Killjoy ult goes all the way around here. This means that from me planting here, straight after the ult, an enemy can walk like straight in through under tunnels and shoot me through the box. Which has happened many, many times. I've been planting behind this box here, and I will die. So, not what I was trying to do, So what I realized immediately after this Killjoy ult went off, is if I plant in the tube, they can't shoot me from back here, like realistically, because there's a box. And they obviously can't see because there's a smoke. then they can't shoot me from any of these angles either, because they can't be there because of the Killjoy ult. So it's actually the safest spot for me to plant at that point in time. So it's obviously not normally the safest point to plant. It's normally kind of around this box or a bit further back, right? But in that situation, it was probably by far the best plant. And then what we do is plant inside our smoke, of course, as well, so they take extra decay. And now they've used their Killjoy ult to try and retake. Sadly, for them, it's very, very far back. You know, it's not going to do too much or get them much ground. But we have both our teammates behind yellow, which is not a very good position. And with our our Killjoy is still alive. And there's both her Molotovs going off right there. So we molly the bomb just to make sure that, you know, off this Brimalt, they can't get too much value, right? They're not going to get onto bomb and half it while the Brimalt's getting off and then take the 2v1 and then with plenty of time spare because they've halved the bomb. So the Snakebite just reassures me that I have that time to play with. I don't have to push them, and I'm not the one who has to re-attack the bomb. They're the ones that are having to push me. So either way, then get the first kill after this, or with a nice shot on the Jet. Right, I see her on the map. I know her kind of whereabouts. Get a nice reaction and get the kill onto her. And now my mindset is straight away I want a Molotov bomb. It Molotovs through the wall. We get a nice flick shot, and there we go. Round absolutely patterns. Honestly, like it's a good shot. But I'm pretty certain, even if I didn't hit the shot, getting this Snakebite off was the most important thing, right? She's been decayed, so now she just immediately dies, and we're just, you know, we're chilling, we're having a good time, guys. Like you should be with Viper. If you're not having a good time with Viper, you shouldn't be playing Viper. But yeah, I mean, that clip just really shows how you can really just dominate post-plant situations with Viper. Even without lineups, you can still dominate. You don't have to have all the knowledge and lineups for every single angle and every single site to play Viper. You just have to kind of use your brain. You have to use the decay and your Snakebites to its full potential. Play with the time you have. Play with the information you have. And piece that all together, and you have an insane Viper player. And with that, guys, I'm going to be wrapping up the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.